Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this morning in the markets we had some bloodshed. I looked around all over Twitter and read different things, and I didn't see anything really specifically as to the reason why the markets did what they did. And as usual, after having been through I've probably seen 100 to 150 days like today in this market since I began investing in digital assets. But the one thing that I didn't see in any 150 or so of those days is anything that came out that led me to believe that anything about what I believed about XRP and Ripple was wrong. I've never seen any piece of news other than things that make me think that it's going to go crazy one day. And that it's still that way as I sit here today. In fact, I woke up this morning trying to think to what I was thinking to myself when I saw that XRP was at 33 cents is I was trying to figure out where I had some money to buy at these prices. That was my first thought this morning. And that was before and after reading the news, especially after, because there was nothing. I mean, this is all nothing. But still, every time this kind of thing happens, I like to give you reminders. I think it was around December of this last year, this market had gotten as low as $100 billion. We are now at $316 billion. We've been as high as around 370 something billion as I recall. Let's look at how we've done this year overall. XRP is the worst performing out of the top 10. For me, that is the best signal of them all about the immediate and medium and long-term future of where XRP is going to go, because nothing has changed fundamentally about XRP. The only thing I see is, okay, well, for some weirdo reason, it has underperformed all of these lesser digital assets in the top 10, and it smells like opportunity to me, big time. And I put my money where my mouth is almost daily with XRP, by the way. But look at this. If you just average the returns for the top 10 digital assets, the S&P 500 couldn't touch those returns with a 10-foot pole. And that is what's important to realize. You can't, but you also need to understand, you cannot, for those of you that get freaked out every day that we have days like today, you cannot have these kinds of returns without having bloody days. That's a silly concept to think that you're going to have these are returns that are unheard of in finance, folks. For those of you who this is your first experience investing, you don't see these types of returns in the traditional financial markets, in stocks and things like that. This is a first time probably in the history of the world where people are seeing these kinds of returns. And you don't have these kind of returns without having really bloody days. And I just wanted to make sure I made that point. And first from the crypto utility guy at UtilityGuy7 sent me this. This is very important here, folks. Blockstack will hold the first regulated token sale later this morning through Reg A offering. We worked with them, SEC, to define a legal framework so that there can be more transparency and the U.S. public markets can open up to this new type of assets. Now, they said that this was going to be for sale. This came out today. So at 11 o'clock today, you should be able to go to, and just go Google Blockstack token or whatever, and you should be able to go and buy it. Now, I wanted to show you Anthony Pompliano's tweet. He says, here we go. Blockstack was just approved by the SEC to hold the first regulated token offering under Reg A. Finally, non-accredited investors can participate in investments that previously were only open to the rich. The laws need to change, but this is the next best thing. Here's what I want you to understand. Those of you that don't truly appreciate what has just happened here. When I was a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, the way that it would work, let's say, I'm just going to use an example. Let's say Amazon, the company Amazon was going to put out they were going to issue they were going to do an IPO, which is an initial public offering of their stock. Now, tokens are not stock. It's important that you understand that there is a difference, but this will happen the same kind of way in terms of this would be the same type of way if it were not tokens. So what I want you to understand is when they had IPOs, when I was at Morgan Stanley, the way that those were done, the first people that could buy the Amazon stock that was going to be a new stock issue were the rich people. The high net worth clients, they would get first dibs before those stocks went public. That way they had their investments positioned when all of the hordes of retail investors showed up to the party. That's the way traditionally it has always worked. That's why Anthony Pompliano says, finally, non-accredited investors, non-accredited just means you and me, whereas accredited, those high net worth people, they're just accredited. And all accredited means is that they're rich enough to get a benefit over the rest of us. Non-accredited investors can participate in investments that previously were only open to the rich. And that's what this represents. This is the level playing field, folks. At 11 o'clock, the way I understand this, you and I can go to Blockstack and buy some tokens of Blockstack, and they opened it to everyone right out of the gate. That is interesting, and it's also fascinating that this has been done I don't think brokers are involved in this, folks. So my understanding is that this is a direct buy. Next from Bond Crypt, Barry Silbert. I think this was a tweet that I covered. I can't remember, so I was going to show it to you. This is the time for quality altcoins to surge with Bitcoin. Notably among this, the XRP, third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. The virtual asset seems to have found favoritism among enthusiasts. Now, if we have ever been primed for altcoins to start going crazy, now's the time. Okay, from XRP Bart at XRP Bart sent this. And this is from Pompliano again. Confirmed, Peter Schiff and I will be debating Bitcoin and gold on CNBC's Crypto Trader with a crypto man Ran as the moderator. Peter should get a lot of credit for agreeing to do this. Hopefully he walks away a Bitcoin believer. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've been noticing a shift in Peter Schiff's demeanor. I know that Peter Schiff, he's a very good marketer, and I know that he's milking the Bitcoin thing as much as he can to get the attention that is focused on digital assets right now. But again, I'll say it again. Eventually, Peter Schiff is going to get into the digital asset business, and he'll figure out a way to rationalize it when the time comes. It may just be that that it isn't Bitcoin. Maybe he'll be an XRP guy. We don't know yet. I wouldn't doubt it. Then Peter Schiff tweeted this out. I've been gifted $2,800 worth of Bitcoin. Thanks to all your generosity. What should I do with my stash? Use it to now buy 24 karat gold jewelry at Mean for my wife, Mean.com for my wife. 2, ignore the FUD and hodl until Bitcoin moons and buy a Lambo for myself. Well, XRP Trooper at Trooper XRP came in and said neither. Exchange it for XRP. You'll get a much greater return. Then you'll be able to drive to the jewelry store in style. Exactly. Okay, next from Depths Capital at Depths Capital. This is very interesting. This is from those hearings with the Fed chairman yesterday with the Finance Committee in Congress. And it says, and this is from CNBC's Closing Bell, and the word of the day is, and I was driving down the road yesterday and I heard this, it said the word of the day, and it was uncertainty. The number of times, let's see how many times he used the word uncertainty. I think he finished with 26 times. And bottom line is, everything is uncertain with the economy of the United States and the world. And the reason it's uncertain is because the irony is it's all uncertain because of what they are all certain of and won't admit, which is that they've created a 50-plus year disaster of debt, printing money, QE, bailouts, and all of this garbage. and they know that they're in a box. And so they can't give you certainty because they know the only thing is certain is that they've created a disaster and they've boxed themselves, put themselves in a corner that they can't get out of. And so all they can do is wander around in this sea of what they call uncertainty, when the truth of the matter is the only thing that is certain is eventual collapse from the disaster they've all created. That's the only thing that's certain, unless maybe digital assets somehow figure out how to bail them out of it. Okay, next from Jaquito McPhee, at Jaquito McPhee sent me this. Now this was a tweet from Ripple, where David Schwartz was speaking with these guys. Great discussion today with leading cryptographer Shafi Goldwasser, director of Simons Institute and professor of computer science, UC Berkeley, and Joel Katz, Ripple CTO and XRP ledger architect, about cryptography and quantum computing. I'm sure that if I was sitting there trying to talk to them about this, I would be completely confused. This guy's so smart, and that sometimes when he's talking, it's almost like I begin to drift off to sleep, not because I'm bored, but because I don't understand. But I would love to see a video of what he's talking about here. I haven't seen a video yet, but if I do, you will be the first to know. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that when David Schwartz is talking about quantum computing, he loses the digital asset investor. And I try my best to keep up. Thank you for listening.